So I've had lots of people message me and say, "Oh, we have moved to Scotland now. We can't find accommodation. It's hard to find accommodation. Oh yes, you asked us to move to accommodation. It's because of you. I've moved to Scotland. This, that, this." So today I'm going to be sharing with you areas that you can move to in Scotland. Hi everyone, welcome back again to my channel. My name is Wemimo and I'm also known as Thatmumof5 and also known as TMO5 Kanduko. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming back. So I've had lots of people who said, oh, they want to come to Scotland, they want to move to Glasgow, that they're planning on moving to Glasgow. And like I always mention on this street of YT, I've had people actually drop comments in the comment section saying that, it was because of your videos that have helped me move to Scotland. Like your videos helped me move to Scotland, your videos helped me to move to Glasgow, that I found your videos really helpful. And and I've come across a few people who actually emailed me and DM me and saying that, oh, we are concerned about accommodation and the best places to live in Glasgow and things like that. So I'm like, no, what? Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be discussing four things, right? So one of it will be best place to live in Scotland as an immigrant, one, and then how to find accommodation to rent in Scotland, and also places to visit in terms of living in Scotland and all of that. So I'm actually going to be talking off topic the entire time of the day, but let's get started. All right, let's start first. Scotland. So within Scotland, there are four major cities. Okay, there are four major cities that you will find immigrants, and I would say is the best cities for you to be as an immigrant. So one is Glasgow, number one. The second one is Edinburgh. The third one is Dundee, and the fourth one is Aberdeen. So Dundee and Aberdeen, I've never been there before, but I've heard that the people there, they are spending the oil money. That's where the oil money is. I don't know how true that is, but if you live in Dundee or Aberdeen, let me know how true that is in the comment section. So I believe there's a lot of black immigrants who are living in Dundee and Aberdeen. But for Glasgow, I know Glasgow like the back of my hand. Yes. And for Edinburgh, I know Edinburgh as well because my kids' school there, I've been there like hundreds of times. So I practically know Edinburgh as well. So you may surprise you to know that Edinburgh is the capital of Scotland, right? And Edinburgh is known to be a tourist center, a tourist city because once you enter, thousands and thousands of tourists go there every year because of their modern buildings and so many other historian things that you can explore in Scotland, right? In Edinburgh. But for Glasgow, I want to say Glasgow is the most popular city in Scotland. Yes, you might not agree with me, but Glasgow is the most popular city in Scotland. Reason why is because any corner you turn, you will find immigrants, and hence why Glasgow is known as there's a slogan about Glasgow that people make Glasgow. Yes, because Glasgow, we open our hands to everybody. So now, as an immigrant coming, they're like, oh, how do we find accommodation? I want you to understand that if you're planning on moving or even changing cities, you just don't carry your bag at once and move, right? You'll have been planning it for a while. And hence why I always say to people that regardless of where you want to move to anywhere in the world, make sure you are doing things in advance before you move. Start to think of how to reach out to places in terms of accommodation and stuff like that. So in terms of where to find accommodation, right? You can find accommodation via there are places like private landlords who rent are very, very expensive. If you go via private let, you are going to be paying lots of money. And I know that some people who are new immigrants in the UK, private lets might be their first point of contact. Okay, because if you've just arrived in the UK, you might not be able to rent a council house. Okay, so for people who are new immigrants, private let it will be your first point of contact. And for private let, right move, Facebook Marketplace, Zoom, Gum3. Be very, very careful about Facebook Marketplace, right? Because there's Tom, Jack, Dick, and Harry that are on that place. So be very, very careful if you are seeking accommodation via Facebook Marketplace. But for private rent, Rightmove, Zoopla, what's this other place again? Gum3. These are places that you can go to in order to figure out accommodation. And yes, if you're renting privately, it might be slightly expensive as compared to if you're renting via the council. So there's council accommodation as well, and council accommodation, I don't know if that will be readily available for any new immigrants in the UK. You might be have some sort of restrictions, but if you've been living in UK for a very long time and you want to move, you might be able to rent or find accommodation through the council if you have some sort of, if you have, maybe in quotes, there's a reason why you are living in a certain city. Okay, and since I can't remember if there are actually any more council houses in Glasgow right now, because the last time I heard about council housing was in 2010. Yes, that was when I heard about council housing. So I don't know if it's still functional or not. So I don't have 100% accurate information about renting from the council. But I've heard of council moving vulnerable people from one city to another. In that instance, they will be able to provide you accommodation. And also, you can also find accommodation through housing associations. So the largest housing association in Glasgow that I know is called Glasgow Housing Association. Okay, so this you also is being let out based on a point system. They assess your living conditions. So if you contact them prior, maybe in advance to you moving from one city or the other, there's a way around it. Okay, you can contact them and register with them. So they will base you. It's point based on your living conditions, like how many bedrooms do you need, why are you moving, and stuff like that. So you can get housing from Glasgow Housing Association as well. There's accommodation, and if you have money and you are ready to buy, can tell you that housing to buy is very very cheap in Glasgow as compared to other cities. Yes, I don't have the figure for that. I don't have the fact figure for that, but I can tell you that buying in Scotland is cheaper as compared to any other place. For me, living in Scotland, the best place I would say an immigrant should live at is Glasgow. Reason why is because I've even seen people come from Aberdeen, Dundee, Edinburgh to come and enjoy the high life in Glasgow. When I say high life in Glasgow, we have practically everything in Glasgow. You know, the city centre alone, there's so many hotels, there's so many pubs, there's so many restaurants. There's obviously some of our high street shops are closing down. The likes of Debenhams, you know, those are the shops I used to enjoy. So some of those shops are no longer there, but you can still get the feel of comfortability when you live in Glasgow. Like, even in Glasgow, there are some areas that you want to live and there are some areas you want to avoid. But as long as you find yourself in Glasgow, you'll be able to access, you know, jobs is like job availability is plenty everywhere. Transportation is you can easily access buses. If you want to buy your day ticket, it's up to you. If you want to buy your weekly ticket, it's up to you. And in Glasgow, children from the age of 4 up to the age of 25, they travel free. In Scotland, in fact, around Scotland, they travel free bus pass. You just have to renew it maybe every 2 years or something with your picture. Transport is free in Glasgow, and also in Glasgow there are African restaurants. I know of two off air now that my people that I know that run this African restaurant. We have African restaurant in Glasgow. There's about maybe 4 5 African shops, you know, to shop your food stop in Glasgow. And in one of these African shops, I've seen people who've actually traveled all the way from Aberdeen, Dundee, Edinburgh to come and shop at that African shop. Yes, everything is, you know, inside of Glasgow. You don't need to travel far for anything if you're looking for in Glasgow. Glasgow Airport is about, maybe if I drive, it's about 20 minutes away. You know, Prestwick Airport is not far away. So Glasgow has everything you could ever imagine in terms of schools. School plenty, colleges, university. There's about maybe 4 or 5 Glasgow universities in Glasgow City Centre. So you can easily access everything in Glasgow. You know, refreshment. Yes, some people might say, "Oh, there's not a lot of nightlife for African people in Glasgow," but you make it what you want it to be, right? You make it what you want it to be. And so, talking about places to live in Glasgow as well, for me, if you're in Glasgow, consider living in the west side of Glasgow. West side of Glasgow is peaceful. You can easily access everything, transport into town and back, shops. You know, West End is the best. You can consider living in South Side as well. South Side is also beautiful as well. You have a mixture of ethnicity. You have the Asian population there. You have the Chinese population there. You have mixed population there. Same thing in the west side of Glasgow as well. You will love west side and south side of Glasgow, right? For me, I live in the west side of Glasgow and I love it. And I don't think I will ever live anywhere else if it's not the west side of Glasgow. And one place that I would want you to avoid if you want to live in Glasgow is this east side. Yes, east side of Glasgow. I lived there, and that was where my family suffered racial abuse, and that racial abuse was it almost broke me. But when it happened, I knew straight away I need to leave this place. And I remember when I was offered that accommodation, then one of my friends, and in my Indian friend, that time I was studying for my first degree in uni. Then she was like, "Oh, Wemi, you don't want to go live in Easter House? That's east side of Glasgow. You don't want to go live in Easter House?" I'm like, "Oh, the house is a beautiful house. It's a 4-bedroom house. It has a massive back garden. It has a massive driveway that can take 2 cars. The rent is cheap and stuff like that." She was like, "Oh, don't think of that. That you would hate it there." It was not until the first 2 nights after we moved into that accommodation that what my friend told me then started to make sense. And it was the worst 4 years of my life living in Easter House. Yes, Easter House precisely. So that was in between 2013 to 2017. I was there for 4 years. So I was there 2 weeks ago. I will say I now see lots of black people living there as well. But if you don't have a tougher skin, don't live there. Don't live there at all. Like the population of Scots there outweighs that of the black people who live there. So for me, if you ask me now, that mom of five, can I go live in East House? I'll tell you no, based on my experience. I don't know how much it has changed in terms of people that are living there now, but I will tell you it's a place to avoid. But in all, Glasgow City is a place you want to live in. Like, you know what? Glasgow is peaceful. I mean, one of the times maybe that you get disruption is if there are like carnivals in town, or if all of these football people are playing, maybe the Celtic or the Rangers, they are playing football. You don't want to be caught on the road. It's not as if maybe they play on the road, but people that travel into Glasgow to come and watch these matches, traffic everywhere. So if you know in advance, just cancel that trip to Glasgow wherever you're coming from. So Glasgow, I would say, is a beautiful place for immigrants to live at. Okay, like I said, there's jobs, there's surplus of jobs, accommodation is there. It depends on your pocket. If you can afford to buy, yes. If you want to rent private, yes. If you want to rent from the local housing association, yes. But it's point based. You'll have to register, and the best way to go about this is to start planning ahead. Start planning in advance. Don't think, "Oh, I'm going to Scotland tomorrow." You pack your bag today and you go, and you expect to find accommodation from the local housing or from council. No, from the council, if you're living for if you're a vulnerable person, you're living for a reason, the council might be able to provide you with an emergency accommodation. But if you're a new immigrant, the place, I mean, obviously the kind of accommodation you'll be renting will be private let, and private let is expensive, right? So for me, if I compare the price of a private let and the local housing, for a 3-bedroom flat in a place that it's not bad in the West End area, it's about £550 for a 3-bedroom here in Glasgow. But if you go to rent privately, you'll probably be paying about £1,500 for the same size of accommodation in the same area. But because you are renting from a private person, is expensive. So guys, let me know what else I've missed in this video about that you want to know about living in Glasgow, and I'll be happy to come back here and maybe do a further explanation. But for me, in as much as in the past years I've actually attempted to leave Glasgow twice, but upon packing my bags, preparing to go, and I'm like, no, I'm not leaving. You know what? I just love Glasgow. I love Glasgow. And Glasgow, like I said, people make Glasgow. People coming from all walks of life, and we love it. Is it the Christmas market in Glasgow, or is it the Christmas market? I would say the Christmas market in Edinburgh is better, much better than that of Glasgow. But I will still remain in Glasgow because there's no point me traveling about 45 minutes on the train to go to Edinburgh when I could see same thing here in Glasgow, right? So Glasgow is a place for you to be as a new immigrant. And yes, if you're a new immigrant in Glasgow and you saw me or you see me anywhere, feel free to say hi. Or if you are shy, drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know if we've met before or anything like that. Anyway, guys, this is the end of my video about best places to live in Scotland as a new immigrant in the UK, especially in Glasgow. And if there's anything you think there's anything I could help in terms of maybe information, do let me know. You can email me. My email is in the description box, or you can DM me from my Instagram handle. I'll leave my Instagram handle here. And if there's anything I've missed also in this video that I've not touched base on that you really want to know about Glasgow, feel free to drop it in the comment section and I'll be happy to reply to you. This brings this video to an end. So if you've watched till now and you've not yet subscribed to my channel yet, what are you waiting for? So don't forget to like, drop a comment in the comment section, subscribe if you've not yet done so, turn on the post notification, share this video, and I'll to catch up with you in my next video. All right, bye for now. All right, bye.